Okay. Uh, I think in the last period we were discussing about some of the questions regarding what we studied in the last two chapters. One of the questions is which one of the biasing methods is best. आपल्याला वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारच्या बायसिंग मेथड स्टडी केलेल्या आहेत. वन इज फिक्स बायस, second is emitter bias, third is voltage divider bias, and next one is collector to base bias. So such questions are asked in the multiple choice. Which one of the biasing methods is the best biasing method? Can you tell which one of these is the best biasing method out of these four? Which biasing method is the best biasing method? Can anyone tell? We have studied all these methods except the collector to base bias. So the best biasing method is voltage divider bias method. That was the last method that we studied. Okay. Why it is better? Because what is the reason it is best biasing method? Because the stability factor is much reduced as compared to the stability factor for emitter bias method and fixed bias method. For fixed bias method, we have seen the stability factor is very high. It is greater than beta of a transistor. Beta means current gain of the transistor. So if your current gain is 100, then your stability factor is 101, beta plus 1. In case of emitter bias, the stability factor slightly decreases. It goes to 50 to 60, in that range. Correct. Instead of 100, it comes to 50 or 60. And in case of the voltage divider bias, it goes below 10. So lesser the value of stability factor, better is the stabilization. So which biasing method is the best? The biasing method which gives minimum value of the stability factor is considered as the best biasing method. So voltage divider bias method gives you the minimum value of the stability factor, and that's why it is considered as the best biasing method. Correct? Next question is the operating point of the transistor. The operating point of the transistor should be near dash for better stabilization. Operating point of the transistor should be near dash for better stabilization. It should be near cutoff. Choice are B, should be near the center. C, it should be near saturation. D, none of these. आपण बघितलेलं ऑपरेटिंग पॉईंट कुठं पाहिजे, कुठं असायला पाहिजे, म्हणजे आपण बेस्ट स्टॅबिलायझेशन म्हणतो. वेअर शुड बी द ऑपरेटिंग पॉईंट. ऑपरेटिंग पॉईंट म्हणजे ही लोड लाईन आपण काढलेली, आपण नेहमी म्हणतो की ऑपरेटिंग पॉईंट शुड बी ॲट द सेंटर ऑफ द लोड लाईन. सो इट शुड बी ॲट द सेंटर. Correct. This is saturation point. This is saturation, and this one is cutoff. This is cutoff. This is IC versus VC. This is collector current and collector to emitter voltage, VC. So when the IC becomes maximum, we call it as saturation. When IC becomes 0, we call it as cutoff. And when IC is in between, okay, so it is neither in saturation, it is in the active region. Correct. The region between saturation and cutoff is called as the active region of the transistor. So naturally, the operating point should be at the center of the load line. Why it should be at the center? Why it should be at the center? Because when it is at the center, what will happen? The collector current is at the center. So collector current can go to minimum 0 value, and it can go to maximum IC max. This is IC max value. So it can go up to IC max. It is at the center. Correct. So your signal amplification can take place very easily. Signal amplification can take place very easily. If it is near the saturation, what will happen? समजा इथं जर ठेवला आपण ऑपरेटिंग पॉईंट, तर काय होईल? वरच्या बाजूला कट ऑफ होईल सिग्नल, वरच्या बाजूला कट ऑफ होईल, खाली येईल सिग्नल असं, पण वरच्या बाजूला कट ऑफ होईल. त्या उलट जर मी ऑपरेटिंग पॉईंट इथं नेला कट ऑफच्या जवळ, तर खालच्या बाजूला कट ऑफ होईल सिग्नल. IC ज्यावेळेस मिनिममकडे जायचा प्रयत्न करेल त्यावेळेस तो कट ऑफ होईल. ठीक आहे. आणि वरच्या बाजूला करेक्ट येईल सिग्नल. आणि जर आपण सेंटरला ठेवला तर दोन्ही बाजूला IC व्हॅरी होऊ शकतो इक्वली, कारण आपण सेंटरला ठेवलेलं आहे. सो इन दिस वे वी कॅन से दॅट the operating point of the transistor should be near the center for better stabilization. That is the reasoning Okay. Yeah. Next question. Improper biasing of the transistor will lead to improper biasing of the transistor will lead to will lead to thermal runaway, B, distortion in the output, distortion in the output, C, heavy loading on emitter, and D, all of these. So as we know, if the operating point is not at the center, that is called as improper biasing. Proper biasing means operating point is at the center of the load line. Improper biasing means operating point is shifting from the center either towards the saturation side or towards the cutoff side. That we call it as the improper biasing. So what will happen? Just now I told you, for improper biasing, either positive half cycle will be cut off or negative half cycle will be cut off. So your original signal is not reproduced at the output. So distortion in the output will occur. So your correct answer will be B. There will be distortion in the output signal, because distortion means if I am applying this type of signal at the input, this is my input, okay, and if I am getting this type of signal at the output, this is not, this signal and this signal, they are not same. The signal is getting cut off at the positive side. You are getting full cycle at the negative side, but positive side is getting cut off. Then this is called as a distortion. This is not a original signal. This is a distortion signal. Or you may get this type of signal. You may get this type of signal. You are getting positive half cycle, but in negative half cycle you are getting clipping like this. So I am getting positive half cycle, but negative cycle is getting clipped off. So this is again distortion in the negative cycle. So either you will get a distortion in the positive cycle or you will get a distortion in the negative cycle. Correct? So that we call it as the distortion in the output signal. So in this way you have to find out the correct answer for that. Yeah. One more question. When BJT, that is bipolar junction transistor, is used as an amplifier, is used as an amplifier, it operates in dash region. it operates in dash region. A, cutoff region. B, saturation region. C, active region. And D, none of these. मगाशीच सांगितले मी, ही लोड लाईन आहे, हा IC वर्सेस VC कर्व आहे. करेक्ट. IC मॅक्सला गेला की त्याला आपण सॅच्युरेशन म्हणतो. दिस इज सॅच्युरेशन रिजन. आणि IC मिनिममला गेला, 0ला गेला, त्याला आपण कट ऑफ म्हणतो. दिस इज कट ऑफ रिजन. करेक्ट. तर आपल्याला माहिती आहे, आपल्याला ट्रान्झिस्टर ॲम्प्लिफायर म्हणून वापरायचा असेल तर ऑपरेटिंग पॉईंट आपण कुठे ठेवतो? इथं सेंटरला ठेवतो. करेक्ट. आणि आपल्याला माहिती आहे, इन बिटवीन सॅच्युरेशन अँड कट ऑफ इट इज ॲक्टिव्ह रिजन. सो ऑपरेटिंग पॉईंट इज ऑलवेज प्लेस्ड इन द ॲक्टिव्ह रिजन. That is normally in the center of the load line. Okay, so the correct answer is C. When BJT is used as an amplifier, it operates in active region, not in the saturation region, neither it is operating in the cutoff region. Because if you enter into saturation region or if you enter into cutoff region, clipping of the waveforms will take place. If you enter saturation region, positive half cycle of the collector current will be clipped off. If you enter into the cutoff region, then the negative half cycle of the collector current IC will be clipped off. So there will be distortion. And in amplifier, we don't want any distortion. So you have to keep the operating point at the center of the load line, and that region we call it as the active region of the transistor. Okay. Okay. Next question. If IC max is 10 milliampere and VCC is 10 volt, then the ideal operating point coordinates, would be ideal operating point coordinates काय असणार आहेत? Would be $10 milliampere and 10 volt. B, $10 milliampere and 0 volt. C, 0 milliampere and 10 volt. And D, 5 milliampere and 5 volt. So which one of these is correct? If the IC max value, म्हणजे saturation value, IC max value is 10 milliampere and VCC supply voltage is 10 volt, then the ideal operating point coordinates would be, कुणी सांगू शकते करेक्ट उत्तर कुठलं असेल? कुणी सांगू शकतं का यातलं करेक्ट उत्तर कोणतं आहे? लगेच आपण इथं डायग्राम काढायचंच. आय सी ॲक्सिस आहे, आपल्याला माहिती आहे हा आय सी मॅक्स आहे. आय सी मॅक्स हा दिलेला आहे तिने 10 मिली एम्पियर. करेक्ट. आणि हा जो पॉईंट आहे कट ऑफ पॉईंट आहे तो व्ही सी सी, हा व्ही सी सी पॉईंट आहे 10 व्होल्ट. आपण काय म्हणतो आयडियल कोऑर्डिनेट्स काय, ऑपरेटिंग पॉईंट शुड बी ॲट द सेंटर ऑफ द लोड लाईन. करेक्ट. सेंटर इथं आला. So naturally, what will be the values of operating point coordinates? This is IC value and this is VCE value. So it is at the halfway. So it is 5 volt and this is also at 5 volt. Correct. So the correct answer is D. The ideal operating point coordinates would be 5 milliamperes and 5 volt. This is the correct answer for the question. लक्षात. तर सगळे प्रश्न जे आहेत हे ऑपरेटिंग पॉईंटच्या भोवतीच आहेत सगळे, तुम्हाला दिसते. त्यासाठी आपल्याला ऑपरेटिंग पॉईंट क्लिअर कट कळालेला पाहिजे. ऑपरेटिंग पॉईंट काय आहे, तो कुठं असायला पाहिजे. ठीक आहे. तर या गोष्टी आपल्याला माहीत असतील तरीच या प्रश्नाची उत्तर आपण देऊ शकतो, नाहीतर नाही. Now when I say we are going to start with the next chapter, that is transistors. In the transistors we are going to transistor amplifiers. Actually transistor amplifiers, we know the 3 types of configurations are there. One is C, that is C amplifier, common emitter amplifier. Second is CB configuration, that is common base amplifier. And third is CC configuration, that is common collector amplifier. Okay, so in transistor amplifiers we have 3 types particularly. One is CA amplifier, common emitter amplifier, CB amplifier, common base amplifier, and CC amplifier, that is called as common collector amplifier. Okay. Now why it is called a common emitter, common base, that I have already told you. Because in two-port theorem or two-port network we have 4 terminals, 2 terminals at the input side, this is the input side, and 2 terminals at the output side, this is the output side. And transistor has only 3 terminals. Okay, and we require 4 terminals. So one terminal is made common. It is connected in between input side and output side. This is connected to output side and this is connected to the input side. So one terminal you have to make it common. So which terminal you make common, accordingly we call it as common emitter amplifier or common base amplifier or common collector amplifier. Correct. Here emitter is common. This is emitter side, this is collector side, and this is base side. So it is common emitter amplifier. On the other hand, if I make the base common, this is my emitter, this is my emitter, and this is my collector, and this is the base. And if I make base common, this is the input side and this is the output side. Then this here base is common, so we call it this type of amplifier as common base amplifier. Okay, and third amplifier is common collector amplifier. In case of common collector amplifier, what we do? Here the collector is made common, we get the output at the emitter. This is the output side. Collector is made common. This is the base side. So this is the input side. Okay, so collector is common here in between the input and the output. Why we make it common? Because transistor is 3-terminal device and we require at least 4 terminals, minimum 4 terminals. 2 terminals at the input and 2 terminals at the output. That's why we make 1 terminal common and we can achieve the 2-port network. So here collector is common, so we call it as common collector amplifier. So each of these amplifiers we are going to study. Correct. Common emitter amplifier. So we will start with common emitter amplifier. After that, analysis of the common emitter amplifier, then common base amplifier, and then common collector amplifiers. One by one we will study. Okay. So let us start with the first amplifier, that is C amplifier, common emitter amplifier. Common emitter amplifier. So in C amplifier, as we know, emitter is common. Then what we do? We connect. We need to bias this transistor. यासाठी बायसिंग करतो आपण, आपल्याला माहिती आहे. एकतर व्होल्टेज डिवायडर बायस किंवा फिक्स बायस किंवा एमिटर बायस, कुठलीही मेथड आपण वापरू शकतो. आपण सुरुवातीला सिंपल घेऊ, फिक्स बायस मेथड. तर आपल्याला माहिती आहे आपण फिक्स बायस मेथडला काय करतो, एक रेजिस्टन्स टाकतो बेसला आणि इथे बॅटरी जोडतो आपण. कुठल्या टाईपचा, हा कलेक्टर आहे, हा बेस आहे आणि हा एमिटर आहे. एरो असा आहे त्यामुळे हा NPN ट्रान्झिस्टर आहे, NPN. सो पी मस्ट, बेस एमिटर जंक्शन मस्ट बी फॉरवर्ड बायस, हे आपल्याला माहिती आहे. सो बेस इज कनेक्टेड टू पॉझिटिव्ह टर्मिनल ऑफ द बॅटरी and emitter is connected to negative terminal of the battery. So automatically base emitter junction is forward biased. So when the junction is forward biased, what will happen? The current will flow, base current will flow, IB. When base current flows, collector current flows, that we know, because IC is beta times IB, beta times IB. So when IB flows, IC will flow. To control that IC, maximum value of IC, we connect a resistance on the collector side, and here also we connect one more battery to bias the collector base junction. Correct. So what we know, for proper biasing of the transistor, emitter base junction must be forward biased and collector base junction must be reverse biased. Correct. So here you can see N is connected to positive, N is connected to positive collector base junction, and base P is also connected to positive, P is also connected to positive. But I think I already told you all these things. This voltage connected, positive voltage connected to collector is more positive. Suppose this is 10 volt. And positive voltage connected to base is less positive. Suppose this is 3 volt. Correct. So we can say that collector is more positive with respect to base. So it is reverse bias. N is more positive with respect to P. That's why we call this junction as reverse bias junction. So your collector base junction is reverse biased. So both the conditions are fulfilled. Emitter base junction must be forward biased. That is correct. So we have connected the base to the positive terminal of the battery and emitter to the negative terminal of the battery. So automatically base emitter junction is forward biased. Collector base junction must be reverse biased. So we have connected collector to that is N side to the more positive terminal and P side to the less positive terminal. So in this way we have achieved the reverse bias junction of the collector and base, reverse bias. So this is proper biasing of the transistor, correct? Now we know all these things. Now instead of using two batteries, what we do, we remove this battery and we connect the same battery here. We connect the same battery here. So I will redraw this figure. This is RC. This is the collector terminal. This is the emitter terminal. And this one is the base terminal. This is plus VCC. Okay. We connect one more resistance to the base side. This is RB. Correct. Now I want to use this transistor as an amplifier. Okay, if I am using voltage divider, what I will do, I will use two resistances. One is RB1 and second is RB2. You can use this configuration also. Correct? Instead of using fixed bias method, I am using voltage divider bias method. Because we know that voltage divider bias method is more better than fixed bias method. Reason? Because voltage divider bias method reduces the stability factor of the amplifier. Stability factor will be less than 10. So better stability you get, better thermal stability you get. I want to use this as an amplifier. Now I want to apply the signal. So I will use a capacitor here. This is a capacitor, coupling capacitor. And on the output side also I will connect one capacitor. Here I get the output. If I want, I can also connect a load RL here at the output. This is my input side. Here I am applying the signal. Here I am applying the signal. And here I am getting the signal at the output. Okay. So this is the same thing we have studied. This part we have already studied. This part we have already studied in the second chapter. This is a stabilization network. Voltage divider network is a stabilization network. Correct? Now I have added a few more things here. I have added a few more things, that is coupling capacitor at the input side and coupling capacitor at the output side. Two capacitors I have added here. Okay, so these two capacitors, why these capacitors are used? Because the DC signal or DC current which is flowing to the base should not get diverted towards the source. नाहीतर हा कॅपॅसिटर काढला आपण इनपुटचा तर इथला बेस करंट इकडे जाऊ शकतो ह्या जनरेटरकडे. हा जो सिग्नल जनरेटर आहे ह्या सिग्नल जनरेटरकडे हा डीसी सिग्नल जाऊ शकतो. किंवा ह्याच्यामध्ये जर काही डीसी सिग्नल असेल समजा या सिग्नल जनरेटरमध्ये तर तो डीसी सिग्नल या बेसकडे जाऊ शकतो. आपल्याला माहिती डीसी सिग्नल जर गेला बेसकडे तर आपला जो ऑपरेटिंग पॉईंट आहे तो डिस्टर्ब होईल, शिफ्ट होईल. कारण बेस करंट चेंज झाला की ऑपरेटिंग पॉईंट शिफ्ट झाला, कलेक्टर करंट चेंज झाला. त्याच्यामुळे बेस करंट डिस्टर्ब नाही झाला पाहिजे. बेस करंट डिस्टर्ब होऊ नये म्हणून आपण काय करतो, कपलिंग कॅपॅसिटर टाकतो. वी नो द प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ द कॅपॅसिटर. कॅपॅसिटर ऑलवेज अलाउज AC signal to pass, but it blocks the DC signal. It doesn't allow the DC signal to pass through it. Okay, so DC base current will not go from the capacitor towards the signal side, input signal side. Neither the DC signal from the input signal will enter into the base side of the transistor. They will be blocked by the coupling capacitor. Correct? Similarly, at the output also, we should not get any DC output. We should get pure AC output. That's why we have connected one more capacitor, that is coupling capacitor. So this coupling capacitor will pass the AC signal only, and it will block the DC signal, or it will not allow the DC to pass through it. So no DC current will flow in the load area. Only AC signal will flow. Only AC current will flow in the load. So in this way, we get the amplification. We apply the signal at the input and we get the signal at the output. Correct? Now you may say, how we get the amplification? How the signal is more increased? Because the base current is very small. Okay, IB, we are applying the signal to the base. So IB is in microampere, and we are getting the output in at the IC, that is collector terminal. IC is in milliampere. So you can see the difference in the two. Base current is in microampere, collector current is in milliampere. So naturally